Okay, we've got a nice, quiet, calm evening. I thought I'd do a little walk around the garden, show you what we've been growing. Okay, garden's looking quite good at the moment. Obviously, I can't show anyone around it, so I thought I'd do a little video, show you all what I've been up to and what I've been growing this year. So we'll start off in my big greenhouse, which is the one where I kind of do all my seed sowing and potting on and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of like the hub of my garden, really. So as you can see, I've got the bench that's fitted on the side of the greenhouse completely full at the moment. So I've got things like quinoa, amaranth, got some kales and stuff, but I've also got those in some root trainers outside. Got some more squashes, because I'm going to put some more winter squash in that haven't quite come up yet. Got some French beans and things like that. And some stuff that needs to go out, like this New Zealand yam. Really tasty. And then got some old builder's trestles here. I don't know if you can see these. I've got some herbs and some more French beans, some cucamelons, my peppers. And you see here, look, I've got some little isolation bags on some of the flowers. The idea being then that I'll be able to save the seed from those. So that's lemon drop one. So that's a nice way to save more seed. And down here, I've got some peas which have actually now started to dry off. Those are called Tom Thumb. So again, for seed saving. So if we go outside into the other little greenhouse. So this is one of my ones from my last house, this little greenhouse, quite a few years ago, and the base is starting to rot out now, so I need to go do some work to this winter probably. But I have a few things like brassicas and some nasturtiums that need to go out there. I've got another pea here, which I'm growing just for seed saving again. This is from the Heritage Seed Library. You get sent like 8 seeds. But if you do it in a bucket one year, and you can breed on enough for the year after. This is called Born Monge 2, so I'm looking forward to this one. Now I've got some cucumbers in pots and stuff there, or builder's buckets as the case may be. And then outside, so I've got some tubs here. This has got like a semi-perennial wheat in called Easer Fresh, I think it's called. So I look forward to seeing how that does. It hasn't grown that strongly yet, but I'm hoping it'll be all right in the buckets. And it means it's easier to protect them when it starts to ripen. I've got some peas and a few other bits and pieces shoved in that little bit of a row there. And down here I've got some wholeless oats. So I tried to grow these last year, and the birds did have a bit of a field day with them. So I grew a few in some buckets in the shed. Not in the shed, in the greenhouse. And this is what I got. I got enough to sow a full bed from them. So I'm going to try again with these and see if I can try and keep the pests off them. On the other side, I've got some onions growing away there. I've got some more peas that need planting out, just in the root trainers. Got some broad beans and some leeks already in. Down here, this is my wholeless barley. This looks really good. So I think there's 5 rows in here. So I'm hoping that we'll get a reasonable harvest off this, and I'll be able to put that in somewhere else, a bigger bed next year. And again, down here we've got some beet roots. I'm not going to pick one because they're nearly ready. They're about that big now. So, baby beet size, so maybe some beetroot tartare coming up next week, hopefully. And I've got the leaves are looking gorgeous on them as well. And I've got another bed further on down, which, I've only just transplanted in. And then I've got some, as I transplant them in, I normally sow another tray ready to go for next time. I've got some parsnips. I've got a whole bed of sunflowers there, which is a bit unusual, but I didn't grow any cut flowers this year, so it would be quite nice. Got these peas. I think these are another Heritage Seed Library one. This is Sutton Harbinger, and these are looking really good now. I think they're a dwarf one, so they shouldn't get much bigger than that. And these onions are looking quite cool. Sowed these just after Christmas, I think, and they're getting there now. And I did give them a trim before I put them out into the garden, so I'm hoping they'll start to bulb up fairly soon. And then swivel round, I've got some bronze arrow lettuce. Far too much there, but the plan is to pick a few good ones, let them go to seed, and then save the seed for next year. And for the seed swap and stuff, got some bean tunnels in. So this one's for runner beans. I think this is Misha, and I've left a few gaps at the bottom there. I've got some big Greek giant ones that I'm going to put in as well for drying. And then this side, this is my strip willow. So I got the kids to strip all the bark off some willow the other day because we run out of poles, so I'm not going to go buy any. And this will be for climbing French beans. So I've got Cherokee Trail of Tears to go on these ones. And these are so tactile, I can't help but walk past and touch them. It feels really nice. And then we've got 5 beds of potatoes down here, a bed of carrots and weeds, another bed of carrots and weeds. We've got a few spare beds I haven't planted up yet. That one's got some winter squash in, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beds left yet. But I've got some more brassicas to go in anyway. So I've got some spring cabbage there. I think that's 306 days still cropping from when I sowed it, so it's going to be a long time to get those. Got some broccoli. Looking forward to these. So I've got some 80-day and some 120-day broccoli, some different types. Got some kale, and I can't remember what's under this one. Oh, some Brussels sprouts under this one. And then I've got my comfrey here as well, and I've already had a cut off this comfrey. I've got a full barrel up there fermenting, ready to make some feed for my plants. This one was a bit disappointing. So this is some Chinese cabbage, meant to be quite quick cropping, but as you can see, it's bolted already. So I think this week we'll have a stir fry or something. I'll chop all this up and we'll just kind of fry it up. Some garlic, so it should be quite tasty, but not quite what I was expecting. And then these are looking awesome. These are my best peas so far this year, just for the size of growth they've put on and how thick they are. And this is Latvian soup peas, so these are going to grow kind of, taller than me. And I've put some more strings around. I just have it on rebar with some string wrap between it. So I'm looking forward to those growing. Down here we've got some koi rabbi and another brassica. I can't remember which one this one was. I think that was koi rabbi as well. I think I had quite a few. Then we've got some strawberries here, which aren't doing amazingly well. I don't know if something keeps eating the roots or what it is, but not being my best crop ever. And then I did put in some extra raised beds down here. So we've got one with Kentucky Wonder French beans, got some onions, some charmette peas. So this is about as tall as they get actually. And the kids will just use those for snacking on. So they should be quite nice. They look like probably want a bit of water. They've got some Shallots, and these are ones I just left in the ground last year, and I've just transplanted the plants over. So I don't think they're going to get very big, but it's a good way to keep them going. And then, I'm going to kill myself on a hose. I've also got some soup peas, different type. These ones only go to about kind of 4 foot high. Just really pretty. And I'll be careful where I step, because I have put some poppies down here. But down here, down the side of the polytunnel, I wasn't sure what was going to happen really. So what I've done is I've put in some squashes through plastic, and hopefully that'll stop the weeds, and we'll get a few extra harvests off it. In front of the polytunnel here, this has got some wheat. This is Emma wheat, so it'll grow quite tall. But it'll again produce enough seed for me to try and do something with it next year. And down here, I've got lots of beds of carrots. We've also got these leeks, which I'm growing for seed now. So they've picked up my 20 best leeks, or 20 something best leeks. Gonna let them flower, save the seed, and keep them going. And then here I've got, this is another pea, purple podded pea. And bring the camera up, you see how gorgeous these peas are. Really easy to find as well when you're harvesting them. None of them are going to hide too much, so I think they're really cool. So hopefully grow enough of those to grow a proper bed next year if I save enough of them. We did eat some today. And then this is my favourite bit of the garden at the moment. So we go into the polytunnel. So you can see down here we've got some potatoes, which are just starting to flower. You can see there, putting the flowers on, so they should be ready to harvest soon. And in between I've got some lettuces sown in between to stop weeds, kind of intercrops. But also we've been harvesting that lettuce load, so I'll probably crop them out now. And over this side, got some carrots, just the little round ones, so quite fast cropping. Paris market, I think they are. Got some peas, again, seed saving and to eat a few. And then here, I'm really pleased with this, is my jet barley, which is like a little black grained barley. It doesn't grow too high, and really high protein. So I'm really looking forward to growing enough, and hopefully should be enough to save enough seed and to try a little bit maybe for one meal, and then grow a bigger patch next year. And further on down this side, got a few unusuals down here. We've got some lentils and some chickpeas, which are just starting to put on a bit of growth now. I've grown both of these in the past, but I've only ever fed the mice with them. So I'm hoping this time that should get enough to at least try a few ourselves. And then down the middle, we've got tomatoes. I did make a bit of a mistake with the string. I put in a string that just rotted off too quickly. My own silly fault. didn't really think about it. So I'm going to have to make some posts out of some hazel or some tent pegs and knock them in and hold them with that, and then wrap these round. But I did give them all the prune last night. So I've got 2 rows of tomatoes down the middle, as you can see. And then down the middle of those, I thought there's enough space. I put in some dwarf French beans for drying. So we'll see if that works or not, or whether it's too much for them. Down here we've got some melons and weeds. And then we've got some cucumbers. These are Boston pickling. They're just starting to put on some growth now, so I need to put some supports in for them. But these were sent to me from America, from a friend on Twitter, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how these do. So I love gherkins as well, so it'd be really cool to have some of those. And here we've got some wigwams. So we've got some acachoas and some runner beans. And these runner beans are just starting to make some flower buds. So that's going to be nice to have some runner beans fairly soon. And then here we've got some 2 courgettes. We've got some lettuces around them. And then we've got these broad beans. And these are Gloucester Bounty. But Gloucester's spelt wrong in the spelling of them. And again, I'm just growing. I've got 20 of these seeds, and that's how many you need to keep enough genetic diversity in them. And the idea is I'll sow those, keep them in here. They've kind of kept them isolated, and then have enough then to sow for next year and try them out properly. We've got some peas, just a little strip down there. And then these are one of my favourite crops this year, and how well they're doing is my chilies. So I don't know if you can see. So as you can see, I've already got some chilies growing really nicely. And I sowed these just at the start of January, but I had them under a 10-watt grow lamp, so it wasn't much power being used up. But they've just done so well under that, and then potted them on when they needed it, and just kept them moving. And again, I've got a few of the little socks over the flowers to kind of keep them isolated for seed saving. But I reckon we're going to have loads of chilies, and we've got some sweet peppers and some kind of padrons and things like that this year. So looking forward to, hopefully they'll do quite well in here. That's about it really in the garden at the moment. If you've liked this video, please click a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.